Alright, hey guys, it's another Tuesday. As you can see, I've been painting, and I'm coming to you live from the apartment where I've been painting and sewing all week. And I just finished my big canvas. Let's see if I can get the camera to give you a good view of that. But, that way. It's always fun when you have a webcam and you're trying to figure it out. So there's the giant canvas. Let's see if I can do it. If I'm standing behind the computer. Yay, there we go. There it is. It's 40 wide by 30 high, and I was having a problem with a part of it earlier today, but I kind of figured it out, and I really like how it came out. There's a lot of new techniques and a lot of new stuff that I'm doing in it, so it's pretty cool. So, just to give you an idea, here is my sewing area that's completely taken over by canvas and vinyl and all kinds of stuff. And I've been working on these journals. Let's put you there. Hello. And I've got, like, every single one of them is completely different. So there's just one here with this pattern in it, and each one has like a button that matches, which I'm going to be making buttons for those and button magnets and all kinds of stuff. And then this one, I love, look at the vinyl print. It's like raspberry and has a grid on it, so that's going to be one. And then this one is cool because it's got a pencil loop and pocket. So I'm working on that, and I'm always on the lookout for new and cute fabrics to use, and I got some yesterday. So I did a post yesterday on the blog about, you know, creating what you can create opposed to what you feel you should create, and kind of just kind of using your limitations as a way to make more original art. And that's what I've kind of done with my journals, is that I have a hard time with the measurements and stuff, making sure everything's even, so they're not all the same. And I've kind of just given into that and been like, well, that's what my journals are going to look like. They're pieces of art to me, and each one is different, and collectively they're one big piece, but I'm going to be selling them anyway because I love them. What I wanted to do is and I try to get as much light in here as I can, but it's about, what time is it? 5:30, so the sun is going down here in Arizona. But here's my work area over here. That chair has been we've had it for a long time, and the fabric splitting on the footstool, but it's the most comfortable place for me to work and to sit. And so I decided, my neighbor lent me this table over here on the side here, and so all my paints and fabrics and everything is there, and I work in my journal over here. And now I don't have a lot of light in this room, but I wanted to see. I mean, this lamp, I mean, I can see, but you guys probably find it difficult to see what's going on. But I have these fabric scraps from all the stuff I've been sewing. So there's just little pieces of fun stuff here. You've seen in some of my art quilts before. I love this fabric. Fun times. This is an Amy Butler print. I had for ages. And then I went out today. Ow. My dogs are all over me. They don't ever want me to leave. They're like, you are going to stay here, whether you like it or not. I got a few more today. Here's one of the prints. And I always just buy fat quarters. I find that they're usually $2.50 to $3 each. And so here's this fabric that I got today. Isn't that cute? The leaves are all hearts. And this one, which I'm really excited to use. And I found a new fabric supply store near me. Isn't that fun? So what I thought was that I wanted to take one of my journal pages and put the fabric along the edge of one. And I think I'm actually going to do that with a sewing machine. So I'm going to hit pause on here, go to the sewing machine, set it up, and show you what I'm going to do. Alright, so I'm over at the sewing machine. You can see my living room behind, and I actually decided to use this fabric, which is one of my favorites, and I haven't been able to find it in Arizona, but I'm not going to be afraid to use it just because of that. And if you look at this piece of paper, it looks familiar, because this is actually a Cosmo Cricket. This is the Early Bird Farmers Market fabric, or paper, and they actually have a thing with Andover Fabrics to produce some of their scrapbooking papers as fabric, which is really cool. And so when I saw this paper, I was like, yay! I can use the paper now on projects instead of collaging, instead of using the fabric. Where fabric is pretty fun. So let me turn this back. This is the best view I can get. I'm using a webcam and I don't have a ton of space. So this is my journal, and I've got this page that I actually did with, I have 2 more colors of the Adirondack color wash thanks to Robin Marie. So I just kind of spritzed it all over here, and I'll just do shapes and stuff. And you can see it's really a lot of fun, and that's if you get farther away, which was a suggestion from Kelly Kilmer, which was a good one. She's got so many good ones. And I'm just gonna, you know, like the fabric, okay, that reaches, and I'm not really gonna measure, I'm just gonna cut a strip. And these are my, I've usually only worked on paper, so my scissors are paper scissors, and of course now that I'm working on fabric, the scissors don't work as well anymore. But that's okay. Just gonna fold back up my fabric so it's easier to find next time. So I'm just fold that back up, and then, I mean, it's a little too high, but that's okay. I'll worry about that in a minute. And I'm gonna fold it in half, and then I just want to put it like on the edge of this page easily. Oh, my paper's on the floor. It flew away. Okay, there we go. Perfect. And put this up under here. And this is just, I just have my my walking foot because that's the only foot that I actually have for the machine. So it won't be as neat and it won't be as orderly. That's fine. Fine with me. I'm going to make the stitches a little bigger, and the needle is threaded, so I'm just going to kind of go slow. Because you can't really use pins with this, you know? It's really hard to slide my journal through here. I will figure this out, damn it. Because since I have the walking foot, I have to actually control it. Oh, it probably would have helped if I put the foot down, wouldn't it? That's okay. So, it's not the best sewing job, but I'm not really looking to do the best sewing job. So there's one side, and you can see it's a really, as long as the fabric is staying, that's all I was looking for. And then I'm going to turn it over, and you can see how uncontrolled that was, because for some reason, this is one of those machines where the foot, it requires a plate to put over it to turn off the feet, and then that leaves you enough room where, so the foot for the sewing machine works properly, and I'm just waiting for my stuff to come from Illinois. Just going to say that. Not that I'm ungrateful or anything for the sewing machine that I'm using. Okay. Now since I'm folding this fabric over, I can actually put a couple of pins in it. Let's see if I have any out. No. They're all in the sewing box underneath the computer, so we're just going to hold it. So I've just got it meeting up with the other 2 ends, and this will be easier because I have kind of like more of a guide to go by. And I'll put down the foot. See how there's still a lot of space? It's because I don't have the right thing on there, but that's okay. Better. And I'll turn this off because it's burning a hot spot on there. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim the ends here. These long thready things. One there. And cut off the extra at the top and the bottom. And what you're left with is I have like this thing on here. But since it wasn't all even, it's kind of like pillowing out at a certain point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on a straight stitch on the machine. And I'm just going to sew along this edge to kind of give it a little more direction and such on the machine. So So it's just going to be the fabric. You don't have to go through or anything. So there we go. Oh, I'm waiting for my neighbor to come home. All right, and then I'm just going to push it through. Get in there. Okay. It's kind of stuck. There we go. I hate doing this first part. Because this part gets stuck. For some reason, the thread from the needle, like the extra length that you have on there, it gets stuck around the walking thread. So I just did a straight stitch on top, and I'll cut all this extra. And you could have sewn over the top and bottom edges to kind of give it a hem if you wanted to, but I really like the messy in my journal where it's not all together and everything. And so there's the back of it. So on this page, when you close the journal, you have this bit hanging out, which is pretty cool. And of course mine has elastic on it, so I can pull it in like that. Or you can just leave it if your journal doesn't have elastic on it. And then I'm just going to keep working on the page, and if I get paint over this part, that's fine. That's kind of what I was looking for. But I thought it would be cool to sew the fabric on the edges of a bunch of pages because I have so much extra fabric. Now another thing that you could do is if you have, I have so many scraps in other colors, is add something like a little tab on or something like that. So let me grab one of those. Now this blue fabric is actually my favorite pattern, and I found it at the fabric store by me, so I'm really excited about that. And that's a Moda fabric, but what you can do is like add a little bit of patchwork. Now this is going to go through the fabric on one side and through the paper on the other side because remember it's a tab. Okay, my dog likes to sit on my foot. How are we doing on time? Okay, I've got about 2 minutes left. Yeah. Oh, and of course the needle came unthreaded. Well, I'm kind of out of time anyway, so, but that's just an idea of what you can do is just keep going and add more patches to it. You can pull this so it's snug against the page, but I thought it'd be fun to have it hang off. And, you can just add a bunch of stuff, and so you have a little bit of the paper crafting. Another thing that you could think of doing is putting batting between there, so you could do freestyle stitching. And what you would do with that is before you sewed the back part on, you would do the stitching here over the batting and then fold it and sew the back part on so it's against this, which would be really fun. So I know that was a really short one, and I did a lot in there and experimenting, but this was just an idea I got today, and I thought, why not try it and see what happens. So I'm going to keep going with that, adding little bits of fabric to my edge there for my journal page, and then show you the finished journal page tomorrow.